Om Amma. Know the basics of Sanatana Dharma. Today's topic. What are the types of mokshas? Continuation of part 1 Moksha. Episode 33 by Chandrasekhar J. Dear friends, in the last episode, we were discussing about the final goal of life. The purpose of life is to find our true nature, that is eternal bliss. The absence of sorrow or liberation from the sorrow is called as eternal bliss or moksha or liberation. Once you are liberated, you will not be caught in the cycle of birth and death. Birth and death happens because of our desires and our vasanas. This is what the sages of Sanatana Dharma say. Now, dear friends, moksha, normally to get the moksha, in the last episode, how we have discussed how various steps that take us to the final state, that is moksha. We have discussed about various steps, various gradual processes that our rishis are given. We have got an overview of Sanatana Dharma. Every step in Sanatana Dharma is towards moksha. Now, dear friends, in this episode, before we get into the types of mokshas, we will be discussing about the popular ways mostly accepted by various scholars. And there are scholars who just have various interpretations for this, but still these are the popular general views for moksha. We have two margas. One is Jnana Marga, another is Bhakti Marga. Jnana Marga means Nirguna Sadhana, Bhakti Marga means Saguna Sadhana, which we have discussed in the last episode. Now, dear friends, in Jnana Marga, the seeking the truth with the guidance of Guru. This is what is done. So we will be discussing in a separate episode about all this tradition of seeking. In India, we are told the truth and we are asked to seek for ourselves. So we are more as seekers. So, but while seeking, we should have the trust in the Guru. We should have faith in the Guru. Our Upanishads are full of sagas of seekers of spiritual truth. Dear friends, now in Bhakti Marga, it is complete surrender to Ishtadevata or God through Parabhakti or Prema Bhakti. In Bhagavatam, Narada wonderfully says, in Satya, Dwapara, Treta Yuga, there were knowledge and detachment to attain liberation. But in Kali Yuga, only Bhakti, the devotion, can attain Brahma Sahidya Mukti. He is very clear in his words, Brahma Sahidya Mukti. Means we will be discussing what is it Sahidya Mukti later in the next slides, dear friends. Now here we have Dhyana Yoga and Karma Yoga. Dhyana Yoga and Karma Yoga, scholars say they lead to Bhakti or Jnana, and from there you will reach the Moksha. So these are the two major streams are, one is Nirguna Sadhana, another is Saguna Sadhana, what we call as Jnana Marga, and another is Bhakti Marga. Now, dear friends, in the last, almost in the end of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says in 18th chapter, 66 slokas, Sarvadharman Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Raja, Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo, Mokshayishyami Masucha. Relinquish all dharmas and surrender to me. I shall give you liberation from all sins. Don't lament. That is what Lord Krishna is saying. He is saying that I will give you liberation. Surrender to me. What is this surrender? As we surrender to our Ishtadevata or Guru, it is believed that we shall get moksha by his grace. Dear friends, when you get into a bus, we surrender ourselves to the driver. So we will, our will becomes zero and the will of the driver becomes complete. When we go to a barber, we give our head to the barber and we surrender ourselves to the barber, and barber does his job. When we go to a doctor, doctor gives us anesthesia and we surrender ourselves to the doctor, and doctor does operation on us. So surrender happens in every aspect of life. Now, especially in spiritual knowledge, our whole life has to be surrendered. We are surrendering only one aspect of our life when we are going to different, like when we go to a driver or when you go to a barber or when you go to a doctor, only for a certain time. But here, the surrender should be complete. Surrender should be full. The surrender should be eternal. So this surrender with this surrender, what happens is we will love him. We will love the personal God. We will live for him. We will see all creatures as manifestation and serve them with love. And we accept every situation of life as his blessings. We shall reach a desireless state, having the only desire to be one with God. Dear friends, I wish to stress here, as you surrender, you lose your individuality and you start becoming universal. So dear friends, Sadguru means a guru who is universal, who is one with the creation, who is complete, who knows, who doesn't have his own self or his own selfishness. He has himself transcended all the selfishness and individuality. That's why we consider him as a universal. That's why we surrender to the Guru. Instead, people surrender to the Ishtadevata. So this becomes the Prema Bhakti or Para Bhakti or Guru Bhakti, and we shall be liberated by the grace of the realized soul or Ishtadevata or Guru, dear friends. Now, let us discuss about various types of moksha. Moksha or mukti while living and mukti after death. These are the two kinds of moksha that have been discussed in our scriptures. Mukti while living means Jivan Mukti. One lives without the feeling of I and mine, without any desires, and always experiences the bliss of the self. That is called as Jivan Mukti. We will go in detail in the next episode, dear friends. We have after that, Mukti after death, we have a Videha Mukti, that is also Nirguna Sadhaks who say this is after death, if they become liberated, they will get the Krama Mukti, means they go to the Brahma Loka and obtain the self-knowledge there. That's what they call it as Krama Mukti, which the Nirguna Sadhaks talk about. Now, dear friend, Saguna Sadhana, we surrender ourselves to the divine or to the personal God or to the Ishta Devata, and we, as per our desires, we seek his presence. Our desire will be only to be with him. When we seek his presence, naturally we go to the Loka. Means we obtaining the world of Ishtadevata, our personal God, is Salokya Mukti. Then there is Samipya Mukti, being in proximity of Ishtadevata, and Sarupya Mukti, having the similarities in the form of Ishtadevata, and Sayujya Mukti. This is the highest, because that's what Narada was trying to talk, that Sayujya Brahma Sahidyam. Brahma Sahidyam means one with the universal Godhood, one with the source of creation, one with the Creator himself, one with our Ishtadevata himself. So, becoming one with Ishtadevata. Dear friends, Vaishnavites go to Vishnuloka, Shaivites go to Kailasham, and worshippers of Devi go to Manidvipam. So these are the worlds that has been described, where people go there, people will be with the God, and this is different from the heaven, dear friends. So they will be there, only bhakti will take them, only surrender will take them, and slowly the process is there, and finally it is Sayujya Mukti that is considered as the highest among all these things. There are other muktis also discussed in other scriptures, which we are not discussing right now, but there are slight differences in interpretation by different scholars, dear friends. Now, in the next episode, we shall discuss about various traits of liberated person and seekers of truth. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.